Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. In this video I'm going to be speaking about something that the Lord's been telling me. Is pretty much, he was saying go all in, and he was telling me to share this with you guys. For those of you that have not put your all in, he was saying go all in. And this all started about a week ago when I was doing Sabbath, and I was just watching some Christian movies, and I came upon this movie that I've been wanting to watch for a while, and it's called Sun Moon. And so I was watching this movie, and I was noticing little things here and there that God kept trying to get my attention. And what really grabbed my attention was this part in the movie where this girl, she goes to another country. She's going to be a teacher, and she's going to speak English in Taiwan as a teacher. And so she goes to this building. She's given a tour of the school, and on the outside it just looks like a big building, but on the inside it's like it has an outside area, and between the levels there's nets. And she asked the principal that was giving her the tour, she was saying, what are those nets for? And it's funny that just grabbed my attention. And he brought up, he goes, oh, the Bible story, the 5 loaves and the 2 fish. And then he was saying they're fish nets. That grabbed my attention. And then later on, God brought it back around. He showed me something else that had pretty much the same thing, that was speaking about the same scripture. And so I was like, okay, Lord, what are you trying to say here? And what he was saying was, he was saying that a lot of his people, and I can include myself in there too, there's certain things that God has told you to do, and sometimes you don't feel like you can, because either you're missing something, or you think that you just feel like you're lacking, and therefore you can't be obedient with God, with what God is telling you to do. And what God was saying was, give what you have, and he will multiply it. He will be the one to do this thing for you, but he says you have to do your part. It's funny because when I was really studying this, it was saying that this miracle that Jesus did with the 5 loaves and the 2 fish is the only miracle besides the resurrection that was recorded in the Gospels, and all four, Matthew, Mark, Luke, John. None of the other miracles are all consistent in all 4 except for this one. And so that really grabbed my attention, so I started to go even deeper with it. So then I started to study, okay, what is 5 and what is 2? So 5 represents grace, and 2 is union. And so what I was studying about it is, okay, God is saying, like he told the disciples, you feed them. And they were saying, but we don't have all this food to feed all these people. But then what Jesus did was, they got the little boy that had the 5 loaves and the 2 fish, and he multiplied it, and there was still left over. And it said it was 12 full baskets, meaning there was enough to fill the disciples. They were not lacking. They were not losing anything from this. And what God was saying was, be intentional. When God is giving you instructions, don't say that you can't do it. God is saying, give me what you have, use what you have, and then I will do my part. And what the 5 loaves is the grace of God, meaning he will do for you what you can't do. And the 2, which means union, This is a union that you are coming to with God. So meaning heaven and earth unite so that God can do the work that you can't do. But this is for his people. This is so you can feed the flock. You know, there's no coincidence that this was recorded in all four gospels. And we know that 4 represents the world. So God is backing up his people because he knows he wants us to accomplish the calling that he's given us when it comes to feeding his people all over the world. And you know, he was reminding me of that scripture where he was telling the disciples, don't take anything with you. Don't take extra clothing. Don't take more, you know, food in your sack or something like that. He was saying, you already have everything you need. And even as you go, I will supply you with everything that you need. You will have all the provision you need on the way. So can you imagine when he sent those disciples out, they had nothing. They had no extra clothing. They had no extra food. They had nothing on them. But yet they didn't lack. They didn't lack anything. Why? Because they were moving in the faith that God had given them. He had given them the instruction also so that we can see that we don't need anything. For all you guys that are getting instructions from God to say, pack because I'm going to take you somewhere, you really don't need to take anything because guess what? God's going to provide for you. Wherever he's taking you, he's going to provide for you. So again, what he was saying is it's not enough for you to believe the word that he's giving you, but you also have to act on it. And he's saying you have everything you need right now. Do what you can with what you have. God knows what you have and what you think you're lacking. But he's saying, do what I have instructed you to do with what you already have. And my grace will be sufficient for you. I will do the things that you cannot do. Okay, guys, so I know it's getting a little dark now. So, thank you for watching this video. If you have a comment, leave it down below. Until the next video, God bless.